more democratic because I can be a gatekeeper, you can be a gatekeeper.
He can't be a gatekeeper. I've seen his record.
Well, he might not be a good gatekeeper, but he could be one, as opposed to having to have some radio station hire you to be the gatekeeper, and in fact, probably they're not even the gatekeeper. Instead of some consultant from LA was programming everybody. In some ways, we've really opened up the possibilities of who can be gatekeepers and how many different channels of gatekeeping can there be. And that's kind of cool in a lot of ways.
Sure. Now, Doug, do you agree with this idea that there's more freedom now?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, any song, well, almost any song. I'm sure not everything is up there. They can't possibly have had everything yet. But for me, the best part is I'm a huge fan of the music itself, not necessarily the singing. I love to hear the actual rhythm tracks. And you can get that now. Somehow, most of them have somehow ended up there in the cloud. How they got up there, where they got them from the studio, who knows? But you can actually hear, like I've got, I don't know, 20 different sessions of Good Vibrations by the Beach Boys, how it evolved into what it was, because it was done in sections, right? All of that's out there now to hear.
Well, that's easy how they got it.
Oh, yes. Yeah,
I mean, that's been going on in the bootleg world forever, right?
They Rob's home, and then they put it through the back door. But that's an interesting point, though. You know, when you're an artist and back in the 50s and 60s and 70s and 80s, where you had actual control over the releasing of the music before the box sets became so popular by collectors, and before partly all of this mystery of the creating of the songs are now available to people more and more through these streaming sites, through YouTube, through Spotify, or whatever it is, or that there are official releases on various box sets. So it comes out to that, talking about the gatekeepers could also be the band itself and the artist and the record label saying, this is what you are only allowed to listen to, Blonde on Blonde. Here's the only official tracks on there. Now, these people, these gatekeepers, these collectors, could put up something and have you experience music and think about these albums that you know like the back of your hand in a whole different light.
There's two things to that, right? One thing is, again, is democratizing. Some of us, myself, for example, I've had these outtakes forever because some of us have known how to get them, how to work for them, and have been able to look at the creative process of Good Vibrations or lots of other things. Now, because of YouTube, people uploading that stuff, all that, quote, gray area material, bootleg material, is democratically available, and you don't have some scumbag charging $50 for a CD of unreleased stuff because some poor kid living somewhere outside of some central zone couldn't get it otherwise. That's kind of cool. But what it's also done is it's motivated artists. Bob Dylan, for example. Just this morning on my iPod, I'm hearing a version of, what was it, Sad-Eyed Lady? No, it was Desolation Row with this harpsichord. Because Dylan put out an 18 CD box set this year, only 5,000 copies for the Truly Maniacs. I'm one of them, thank you. Number 4,637 is my box. Just got in there. There's a 6 CD version for the more casual fan, 2 CD for the wimp. But what I'm getting at here is, why would Bob do this? Why would Bob put out 18 discs of everything he cut in the studio, every scrap from 65 and 66?
Because of Victoria's Secret?
3 albums. Not because of Victoria's Secret, but because bootleggers already got access to a lot of that stuff, and it's his way, in some ways, of doing it the way it should be done. And this is great now. It's like having sketches of Beethoven's masterpieces. We can analyze decisions they made. This is incredible.
highly resilient. It supports your body weight and adds to the durability of the mattress for many years of restful sleep. The natural organic latex is an extremely durable layer. It creates ultra comfortable bounce back support to keep your spine in an optimal natural sleeping position. Kyrofoam mattresses are suitable for people who want a stiff mattress or if they want a softer mattress because it fits the contours of your body and offers support where you need it the most. Our specialized layer lumbar support provides an additional 20% of conforming support in the center third of the mattress. The gel-infused memory foam helps keep your body cool and relaxed during sleep, while the temperature-sensitive foam adjusts to your body's natural shape and curves. The hand-stitch removable cover wraps together all the different layers of Kyrofoam into a modern-looking, comfortable mattress. When doing your research, you notice that Kyrofoam hits all the major points required for a perfect mattress, which will give you a better sleep and, in turn, improve your quality of life.
I have everything but you.
Let's open up.
Okay, but is there a risk here of the artist making less money, Drew, in all of this?
Well, it's a big thing. I mean, I just want to touch on a point about we're talking kind of around this whole idea of curation and galleries and artists. Bob Dylan opening up his own gallery to the underpaintings of his own music. I think he's going to benefit off of that himself. But in terms of royalties, it's a wild, wild west, man. Anything online, artists aren't being represented or paid the right amount of due. It's a tricky world. But does that mean the sharing and the knowledge and the idea of those bands and what they provided to the musical landscape, is that going to be lost? No, because it's going to live on through sharing.
But you think that sells millions of downloads and ends up with a check for like $7,000 for all of that.
There's a lot of artists who I know that were making, getting royalty checks for in the hundreds of thousands of dollars a year that are now getting $12,000 to $15,000 for, some of the massive hits. But, going back to what Drew was saying, I mean, that's where the music industry is right now, where it's trying to figure out how the artists can make money, battling against streaming services like YouTube. However, no record label or artist would dare to not put YouTube in their marketing plan. I mean, they're battling against sometimes the most important aspect of promotion that has ever landed in their laps, but yet they're trying to figure out how to actually monetize it, because I think it's true. I think in 5 or 6 or 7 years, if nothing changes, you're going to see probably a lot of artists who would go on to be great never have that opportunity because they got to go and get a real job after they reach the age of 22.
Mm-hmm.
There's a couple of parallels here. You talked about the Wild Wild West. When radio first came about, 1920 first radio stations licensed. 1922 is when it took off like a rocket. Record companies were scared. They thought this was the end of the music industry. And in fact, you look at 78 from that period, a lot of them in the label, it says not licensed for radio play. And it wasn't until the 40s, in fact, you started getting the whole concept of spinning records and DJs as common radio stuff. That's because of the advent of the TV, so other things went that way. But, of course, radio became the greatest promotional tool record companies could have imagined. If you want to take an artist somewhere, you need YouTube. It is providing a service. It doesn't mean people shouldn't get paid better. And think of hip-hop. Beginnings of sampling, total wild, wild west. People not getting paid, people just grabbing stuff. Gradually, a whole bunch of lawsuits and other stuff. Basically we have ways and means in which it's done and people get paid. This will eventually settle. We're in a time of flux right now.
But is that fair, though, that body pile up where the industry is trying to figure it out? You have drummers who have been sampled hundreds of times. You have guitarists who were essentially stolen or used without payment. And is it fair to those people? Is it fair for any artist to not have control over somebody deciding to put this is creative control, no harm is intended, but you're harming them. You know that just because you put that does not necessarily give you the right to take an authorized piece of work and pick it up there. I don't know how to do it, but it doesn't make it right in the eyes of the law. You just have to take a look and say, dozens and dozens of lawsuits, including grandmothers actually received by the RIAA for uploading or downloading various tracks. So while these curators are us and we are them and we are all thankful because we're music fans and geeks, the fact of the matter is that we're all 99% of them are doing something illegally. So does that still make it right because you can happen to enjoy your services for doing it? Right. It would be like walking in, I know these analogies is wrong, but it would be like walking into a bank, stealing the money, but giving it to the poor. Does that make it right? It doesn't.
Votre album est en tête des ventes et vous serez notamment à l'Olympia du 26 août au 14 septembre. Et puis, changez pas le poisson rouge, j'adore. I love the red fish.
Good luck on your upcoming European tour.
Bye bye, Alizé.
Billboard says that 0.0065 cents per stream. That is the average stream. And of course, it's average because you're looking at a bunch of different services.
Every million streams, it's $6,000 on a Spotify or YouTube. But for a long time, the biggest artists were not the ones complaining about it. They were still getting billions.
Take care if there's anyone on Earth. Drop by, say hi. 38 Murdoch.